A poor farmer's goose began to lay a golden egg every day, making the farmer and his wife rich. However, growing greedy and impatient, the farmer killed the goose to get all the eggs at once, only to find it was just a normal goose inside and would never lay golden eggs again. The story teaches that greed leads to loss and that patience is important. The story, a poor farmer discovers his goose has a special ability. It lays a golden egg every day. But once upon a time, in a small, humble cottage nestled beside a green field, lived a poor farmer and his wife. Their life was simple and often difficult, filled with hard work from sunrise to sunset just to have enough food on their table. They had very little money and owned only a small piece of land, a few chickens, and a single goose. They wished for a better life, a life where they didn't have to worry about their next meal or the cold of the coming winter. One morning, the farmer went to the barn to collect eggs, expecting the usual small, white ones from his chickens. As he checked the nest of his goose, his eyes widened in disbelief. There, nestled in the straw, was not a normal egg. It was heavy, and it shone with a brilliant, warm light. It was an egg made of pure, solid gold. The farmer couldn't believe his luck. He carefully picked up the egg, feeling its weight in his hand, and rushed back to the cottage to show his wife. She was just as amazed as he was. They had never seen anything so wonderful in their entire lives. This single golden egg was a miracle, a gift that could change everything for them. The farmer sells the eggs and becomes wealthy, but eventually grows impatient with only getting one egg a day. The very next day, the farmer took the golden egg to the market in the nearby town. He was nervous, but the goldsmith confirmed that the egg was indeed pure gold. The farmer sold it for a large sum of money, more than he had ever held in his hands before. He and his wife were overjoyed. They bought new clothes, delicious food, and repaired their old cottage. Their worries began to disappear. To their astonishment, the next morning, the goose had laid another golden egg, and the day after that, another. Every single day without fail, the goose produced one perfect, shiny golden egg. The farmer and his wife quickly became very rich. They bought more land, a bigger house, and fine furniture. They no longer had to work in the fields. Their neighbors were amazed at their sudden fortune, and the couple enjoyed their new life of comfort and ease. However, as time went on, the farmer started to feel a different kind of hunger, a hunger for more. One golden egg a day had made him rich, but it didn't feel like enough anymore. He grew restless and impatient. He thought to himself, why should I wait to get just one egg each day? If this goose can lay a golden egg, it must be filled with gold inside. It must have a treasure of golden eggs within it. The idea took root in his mind and began to grow, overshadowing his gratitude and common sense. He became obsessed with the thought of getting all the gold at once. He decides he wants all the gold at once and, fueled by greed, kills the goose to cut it open. The farmer's wife tried to reason with him. She said, "We are so lucky. We have everything we could ever want. Why risk it? Let us be happy with the gift we receive each day." But the farmer would not listen. The seed of greed had grown into a towering tree in his heart, blocking out all reason and caution. He was convinced that a great fortune was waiting for him inside the goose. He imagined mountains of gold, a treasure so vast he would be the richest man in the entire country. The slow, steady wealth he was getting each day now felt like a frustrating delay. He told his wife, "Think of it. We could have it all right now. No more waiting. We will be richer than kings." His desire for instant wealth became so strong that it was all he could think about. One afternoon, his impatience and greed finally won. He grabbed a sharp knife from the kitchen and declared, "I cannot wait another day. I am going to get all the gold now." Despite his wife's pleas and warnings, the farmer marched out to the barn, his mind set on his foolish plan. He found the special goose, the very source of all his good fortune, and without a moment's hesitation, he killed it. To his horror, there are no golden eggs inside. He realizes the goose was like any other bird, and he has now lost his only source of wealth. With trembling, eager hands, the farmer cut the goose open. He expected to see it filled with shimmering golden eggs, a vast treasure just waiting to be collected. But as he looked inside, his heart sank. His eyes filled with shock and horror. There was nothing. There were no golden eggs, no treasure, no mountains of gold. The inside of the goose looked just like the inside of any other ordinary goose. It was just flesh and bone. In that terrible moment, the farmer understood the dreadful mistake he had made. The magic was not in a pile of eggs hidden inside the goose. The magic was the goose's ability to create one golden egg each day. And now, because of his overwhelming greed and foolish impatience, he had destroyed that magic forever. He had killed the very source of his wealth. The goose would never lay another golden egg again. He stood there, surrounded by the silence of the barn, realizing that in his desperate attempt to get everything at once, he had lost it all. The steady stream of gold was gone forever, and he and his wife were left with nothing but the memory of their lost fortune and the heavy weight of his terrible decision. The moral of the story is a fable with the moral that greed can lead to losing everything you have. This timeless story of the goose that laid the golden eggs is a powerful fable, a short story designed to teach a valuable lesson about human nature. The central moral is a clear and stark warning against the dangers of greed. The farmer had a source of steady, dependable wealth that made him and his wife comfortable and happy. They had everything they needed and more. However, his desire for more, for everything all at once, clouded his judgment and led him to make a catastrophic decision. He was not satisfied with his good fortune. He craved an even greater fortune instantly. This blinding greed caused him to destroy the very thing that was making him rich. The fable illustrates a universal truth. When you become too greedy and are not satisfied with what you have, you risk losing it all. The desire for more can make you do foolish things and ultimately leave you with less than what you started with. It's a lesson that warns us to be cautious of our own desires and to understand that an insatiable appetite for more can be a destructive force, leading not to greater riches, but to complete and utter loss. It serves as a lesson on the importance of patience and contentment. Beyond the warning against greed, the story also serves as a profound lesson on the importance of two other virtues, patience and contentment. The farmer's fortune was built on a slow and steady process, one egg per day. Had he been patient, his wealth would have continued to grow indefinitely, securing a prosperous future for him and his family for the rest of their lives. His